and welcome to the City of Hartford's public comment section held this April 13th, 2020. This will be our first virtual public comment, and we will continue to refine this process with your feedback and suggestions. Please visit www.hartford.gov for important updates and City Council contact information. Those who signed up for public comment were given a phone number to call in, and you will have 3 minutes to address the council, thus giving everyone an opportunity to speak. When I call your name, please state your full name and address, then we will begin. I ask that you respect the time given to each resident and do not interrupt. And so for some housekeepings, any person making personal, impertinent, or slander remarks of who becomes visitors while addressing the council shall be forthwith by the presiding officer for further audience at said meeting, unless permission to remain is granted by 2/3 voice of this council members present and voting. We will now start the public comment section. We will start the public comment section with Leslie Hammond. Leslie, are you on? Leslie?
Yes.
Okay, we'll begin public comment with Leslie Hammond. Leslie, if you could address your name and address. Please bear with us. Go ahead, Leslie.
This is Leslie Hammond. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
I'm on here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, there's kind of a delay. When you see your faces, there's a delay, so I can't tell the timing. Anyway, thank you for doing this, Councilwoman. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, Leslie. There's a delay, but go ahead.
This is Leslie Hammond, 1 Linden Place, Hartford. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for all the council people and everything that you're doing. Most particularly, Josh, thank you for getting on that run. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, Leslie.
This is Leslie Hammond of 1 Linden Place. Thank you for doing this. Okay, there's a delay, but anyway, I'm really appreciative of Josh and everything he did about the rentals. I know Mally has been doing a lot with the homeless, and I know you others have been doing things too. And the more you can tell us of what you're doing and what you need from us, please try to do that in any way that works for you. I wanted to talk briefly about Joanne Bauer. I know that Mally's going to mention her during your at 7 o'clock. You know, I've been working with and involved with Joanne the last few months. She was very open about being in IOL. She pretty much told everybody. And I really feel like with the virus, she was so incredibly isolated. And, you know, she was a big hugger. Those of you that knew her knew that she loved to hug. And when you live alone and you're isolated because of the virus, I really think it did, you know, it really hurt her a lot. And also the mental health system, Wheeler Clinic, you know, didn't have groups, and they had somebody that she could call once a week for like 20 minutes, and that just wasn't going to cut it. So I really urge you guys, I was thinking that maybe on the buses you could do a hotline. I mean, you know, it's some people, they have their own path, and that's just the way it is. But I do think that some people might want help. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the webpage. I know that Cronin did a webpage for the virus, which is awesome. I'm really impressed. You know, I've talked about the webpage for 4 or 5 years. I am still struggling with the regular webpage. The take the
Okay, so we have lost our connection with public comment. You could bear with us for a moment.
Well, this is the link.
Link?
Yes, link.
Like the one that I went and I clicked the link to see my doctor.
I don't know, I do have a doctor, yeah, but it's a link. Yeah, at least you capable hands. You want this?
Bear with us, please.
Okay.
Oh, that's the line.
I just told them at 7 they got to sever it. I'll send you. I did most of it. I just add 7 on there. I don't know how they want to do 7.
Eric, you're not muted.
You entered 144626229. If this is correct, press 1. There are 5 participants in the conference. Please announce yourself.
Hi, this is Council President Manley Rosado. Leslie, are you still with us?
I am.
Okay,
I
so,
said everything that I need to say.
okay, thank you. And thank you for bearing with us while we go through these technicalities. Next to speak is Donna Swore. Donna, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Are you ready?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, my comment tonight, Dennis R. H. Place, is in regards to item number 14. Coronavirus has demonstrated that the lack of our necessary staffing and providing health services, because once again, they're using recreation staff to supplement high priority positions. Public works staffing is understaffed. We need them to be able to provide sanitation levels. Our city buildings and open spaces more critical than ever. I'm going to ask you again when you're reviewing the budget, to talk to the department directors and provide a 10-year comparison of staffing in their departments by position, wherever possible at position. Inspectors in every department are still woefully low and cannot perform necessary review to ensure compliance with state and municipal state statutes and ordinances. I'd like you to consider in the future using a form so that people can comment on items, and then you can more easily sort through them later, especially when it comes to reviewing of the budget by topic or department, or when you have a specific meeting. And lastly, in my conversation with Council President Rosado, she reached out and said that there was a great deal of lack of information in the Hispanic business community about the small loans, and there will be an article in this week's Hartford News to hopefully reach out to them. Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you, Donna.
Sure.
Next on the list is Siobhan Hallington. Siobhan, are you with us? Hi.
Yep, I'm here. Siobhan Hamilton, 35 Thomaston Street. I have a comment in regards to, over the past couple of months, there's been what I would consider insurance jobs being done in the Blue Hills neighborhood, in respect to people parking cars and then someone coming in and smashing the back of them. They sit on the street for at least over a week because of procedures the police has to go through. And it's happened on my street twice. It's happened 2 blocks over on Colbert Street between Richfield and Blue Hills as well. It happened twice. I've just police officers, and they stated that they understand, but there's not enough cameras in our neighborhood. There's only one on the corner of East Euclid Street. And so what I'm asking for in this comment is to have more cameras in the Bruce neighborhood for the residents. Because again, the police like their hands are tied because they don't have any cameras in order to figure out what's going on. But they know that there's a pattern. They know that there's a few of them. But again, there's nothing else in their job.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Next on the list is Janice Fleming Butler. Janice, are you with us? Okay, moving along. Latrice Colon de Mejias. Is anyone on the line?
I'm on the line. I don't hear anyone else.
Okay,
This is not Latrice.
okay. Alyssa Peterson? Alyssa Peterson?
I'm here.
Okay, you're up.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Council. This is such an unusual scenario. I appreciate your efforts to try and do this. I only see on my screen, it is very delayed to echo what Leslie Hammond said. So I just wanted to, I only see a few council people participating, but I do really appreciate that council is trying to make every effort to be transparent during this very difficult time. And I applaud anything you try to do it.
All the council
I'm
people
a little
are here
worried
now.
about how budget is going to go forward. These budget sessions have public participation, and I'm also worried about how your OPM meetings are going to go on the 3rd of the month. They usually occur. So to that end, I already sent you an item regarding agenda item 1. I hope you received it. It's my concern about that very expensive contract. And I don't know how many of you are around, but the Board of Ed really used one of the points to sell closing schools was that some of the buildings could be reused and that they would try and make every opportunity to reuse the buildings when necessary and to look better at space. So I really advocate that you hold up on any approval of agenda item number 1 and get better information back from the Board of Ed and from Mr. Bronin's office. The other item I'd like to talk about is something I sent in your email just before. I just wanted you to have it for reference. Very briefly, I did for the State Contracting Standards Board, and I challenged the award of $330 million in bonding funds, which has not been approved yet by the legislature. I don't feel that there was 2 years of a competitive bidding process. The city was involved. There was a council subcommittee that I know of that was overseeing it. There was an award to Sincere Rooney, whom I did support previously. But when I saw that $330 million was awarded to them afterwards, I switched my support to the Convanta solution, which would have removed allowed for the shutdown of the trash plant. I'm going to be coming forward with more information from you. I believe that we really do need to challenge the award. It should be rebid. If the state has $330 million to help redo the plant, they could take another tack and invest in the neighboring towns and figure out how to put money into the towns to do better recycling so we don't have to have a trash burning plant in Hartford. So again, I'll be coming back to you with other means that I'm pursuing to get this contract and the proposed $330 million of bonding. I believe the city of Hartford really needs to relook at this. Fire era, we are seeing how poor health outcomes in the Black and Hispanic neighborhoods in New York in particular cause more or death. We need to look at what this trash burning plant could mean for Hartford in our neighborhoods for the next 40 years. I do think there's alternatives if now we know the state was willing to invest $330 million. I'm sorry for going over, and I really do appreciate the opportunity to speak, and I wish you all good health. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Next on the list is Tanaya Taylor on now? Tanaya Taylor? Janice Fleming Butler? Raul Irizarry? Raul Irizarry? Kamali Williams?
Hi, this is Kimberly.
Hi.
Kimberly. Hi there. Thank you. I wanted to thank the council for this platform. It means a great deal to me as a Hartford small business owner and a resident. So thank you. I'm a property manager of a complex with almost 200 elderly and disabled residents. We have 2 confirmed cases of COVID, with 1 of the 2 dying late last week with COVID. 1 person confirmed with COVID remains on one of our sites. For 4 weeks, we've asked for a situation like this if it occurs. And we have contacted HUD, HPA, and our state representative. All of them attempted to help and directed us to follow CDC guidelines in the absence of a protocol established for Hartford or Connecticut as a whole. CDC has no guidelines. We couldn't find a protocol for this, but they referred us to contact the local health department for any questions. We've contacted the health department by phone, voicemail, left email with no response to date. I'm not commenting to place blame on any of these agencies. There needs time, but we do need answers. We know how to handle staff that may have been exposed, but our questions that remain are we required to report to any agency or first responders, and how do we do that? Should we be notifying our other at-risk residents? How do we protect the privacy of the resident remaining with confirmed COVID? And do we contact the family of the remaining resident or an agency to ensure that she is getting whatever she needs to protect herself and others? And I have nowhere else to go but to have gone to the platform with that, because we really need some direction. Very much.
Okay, thank you very much for that information. And I will personally be reaching out to you, as well as I'm pretty sure my colleagues. But you will hear from us, okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to mention, I know that I believe it was Mrs. Peterson who stated that you couldn't see all council members on the screen. All council members are right now participating in public comment. As I said before, please bear with us as we navigate through these technicalities, but we will get them straightened out. But for the record, all council members are on my screen right now. Is there anyone else on the line that has not participated in public comment? Is there anyone on the line that hasn't participated in the public comment? Thank you. We will resume with our council meeting at 7 p.m. You can watch the meeting by visiting www.hpa-tv.org, Facebook Live, channel 96 for Comcast at Xfinity. Thank you. This public comment session is adjourned.